Tonight on Johnny's Prime, rescuers in Krachi West Municipality of Otu region recover body of a man believed to have drowned when a canoe he was traveling in capsized on the Volta Lake following strong winds.
As we speak, the bodies have been retrieved and at the Krachi Municipal Government Hospital. For now, we have not had any official communication to this regard.
Also in this bulletin, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs evacuates 76 Ghanaian nationals from Sudan to Ethiopia. The Ghana Water Company issues flood warnings for communities around Weja, Oblogo, Tetegu and Bawe as it prepares to spill the dam.
The minimal spillage because we want everybody to evacuate the area before we open the entire number of gates that we have.
The news is live, also live on Joy Prime and around the world on myjoyonline.com with me, Razak Musbau. We'll be back shortly with the details. Now, rescuers in the Krachi West Municipality of Otu region have recovered the body of a man believed to have drowned when a canoe he was traveling in capsized on the Volta Lake. It follows what eyewitnesses say were strong winds on the lake, which forced some passengers to abandon the trip. Otu regional correspondent Peter Senu has more.
Last Friday, some passengers were returning from Krachi, the municipal capital, to some of these island communities, and along the line, the main boat on which they were traveling and stopped over to allow a storm to subside. And some of the passengers got down to say hi to their friends in these communities. And so before they returned to the lakeside, the main boat had left, and so they decided to use one fishing boat to reach their destination. So it was in this process that, they met another storm. The boat capsized, leading to the death of two of the passengers on board the canoe. And so, as we speak, the bodies have been retrieved and at the Krachi Municipal Government Hospital. For now, we have not had any official communication to this regard, but what we do know is that NADMO over the past month has intensified education along some of these communities, the island communities. And so education is ongoing with regard to what to do when there is a storm. And sometimes one of these is to park and then allow the storm to subside before they continue the journey. So authorities are doing their part of their bit in terms of education along these communities.
Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has evacuated 76 Ghanaian nationals from Sudan to Ethiopia. 74 of them will be airlifted to Ghana on Tuesday, May 2nd, to Accra. And a statement from the ministry indicates this with the heading Evacuation of Ghanaian Nationals from Sudan, and dated 30th of April 2023. And the statement reads that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration wishes to inform the general public that 76 Ghanaian nationals have successfully crossed the Sudan-Ethiopia border with the assistance of officials from the Ghana Embassy in Ethiopia and are currently in Addis Ababa. Arrangements are in place to fly 74 of them to Accra on Tuesday, the 2nd of May, 2023. And the statement continues that additionally, one footballer and two engineers have been assisted by officials of the Ghana Embassy in Egypt to cross over the Egyptian border post of Wadi Haifa, north of Sudan, while two other footballers are going through immigration formalities. The ministry wishes to reiterate its commitment to evacuate all willing Ghanaian nationals in Sudan to safety to neighboring countries such as Ethiopia and Egypt. In that regard, those in need of assistance are to take note of the details of the following contact persons who are on standby to assist them to cross the respective borders. And you can see in Egypt, you can contact Mr. Peter Oko Agoy Auswell, with the telephone number over there, and in Ethiopia, Mr. Samuel Asante with the telephone number, and in Sudan, Mr. Osama Ateul Manan, also with a telephone number, a WhatsApp number on your screens. The ministry will continue to keep the public abreast of any new development regarding the evacuation exercise. To All Media House, signed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs over there. And well, the fighting in Sudan has continued for nearly 2 weeks since it began on April 15, when violence broke out between the country's army and a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces. The two are engaged in a power struggle over who gets to run the resource-rich nation that sits at the crossroads between North Africa, the Sahel, the Horn of Africa, and the Red Sea. Now back to Ghana. The Ghana Water Company has begun what it calls minimal spillage of excess water from the Wager Dam. The company is warning residents living downstream of the Wager Dam to begin evacuating the vicinity to avert any disaster when the spillage begins. According to the company, the level of the dam as of Friday, 28th of April, is 46 feet, just one below the maximum safe operating level of 47 feet. In a statement, the company said it will not hesitate to open the spill gate should the level go above 46.5 feet, so as not to compromise the integrity of the dam and to avert any disaster. Communities expected to be affected include Weja, Oglogo, Tetegu, and Gbawe. Communications manager at Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate, talks more about the spillage.
So yesterday in the evening, we started minimal spillage with one gate, and we are still monitoring the inflows so that we will increase it if the need arises. We have started minimal spillage because we want everybody to evacuate the area before we open the entire number of gates that we have. So it's essential that people, after hearing the announcement and the sensitization and everything that we've done within the communities, they will evacuate the area to forestall any eventuality. This one actually serves as a caution to everybody who lives in that area. We have sensitized people living downstream to evacuate the area, and also to ensure by putting pressure on the the municipal assembly to demolish structures that impede the flow of the water into the sea. We also have cautioned the municipal assembly to dredge the estuary where the Densu River enters the sea, so that there will be easy flow into the sea. All precautionary measures have been taken, and I expect that things will work out if everybody should perform its role or should take up its responsibilities effectively. We have informed the chiefs and assemblymen and everybody who matter in the area about what is about to happen. And even apart from that, we also expect that, knowing that we are in the rainy season, there's a high opportunity or high chance for the spill gates to be open. So we expect people who have experienced such disaster before to be more cautious and to move or evacuate the area to avert any disaster.
The north now, where the two traditional chiefs of Jimbale, whose rivalry led to the outbreak of inter-tribal armed conflict between Konkombeks and Bumaba, say in the community, have reaffirmed their pledge to sustain the peace of the area. The two chiefs have reassured their commitment to continue working together to ensure absolute restoration of peace, unity, and harmony for the needed socio-economic development. The chiefs were speaking at an event organized by the Member of Parliament, Oscar Liwal, to recommission a renovated health facility that had been out of service for 16 years now due to communal conflict. Correspondent Ilya Sutanko was there and came to this report.
The renovated health facility originally belonged to and was operated by the Lutheran Church Mission, which came to the area around the 1990s. The facility was established in 1994 by these German missionaries as a source of primary health care in a community and operated under their care until 2001, when they were compelled to abandon the facility and flee after a series of armed conflict between the two ethnic groups in the area. An attempt to revive the facility was again hampered by renewed violence in 2007, and since then the facility had been closed down, depriving the Jimbale community, which is the largest in the Junju-Danswane district, of access to healthcare services and other basic public services. However, the community on Monday, April 24, witnessed an outbreak of joy and happiness when a member of parliament for the area, Oscar Liwa, held a ceremony to recommission the facility after funding its renovations. The mini Deba held at the forecourt of the facility was attended by chiefs and people of the two ethnic groups and was characterized by drumming and dancing by the women in particular, who were more than excited to have a health facility at their doorstep. In his address to introduce the Member of Parliament as part of protocols, the District Chief Executive, Mr. Conlan Bitien, expressed gratitude on behalf of the Assembly to the Lutheran Mission for releasing the facility and to the Member of Parliament for renovating it.
This afternoon, we are very grateful that the Lutheran Mission has started with the structure, and our Honourable Member of Parliament has continued and completed the structure for us. Now that we are commissioning the facility to the community, that we try as much as possible and give the assistance that these nurses may need from us, so that they can put up their best for us.
Mr. Conlan Bitien called on the people there to continue to bury their differences and give peace a chance for the development of the area.
So I want to plead that if people have given us the hope and that our development factor, the very honorable man who is standing on his feet to ensure that the entire Unyo-Nanswan district get the development that we deserve, then Jimbale community should be an example place that any other community should copy with regard to peace.
The Member of Parliament, Oscar Liwa, also thanked the Lutheran Mission for the kind gesture and added that he considered the refurbishment of the facility as a great responsibility.
As a son of the land, I do not see any better legacy I could leave behind than providing the needed health care for my people. I am therefore so happy that this dream has become a reality on this day.
The MP also admonished the youth to eschew violence and embrace peace and not allow themselves to be used as tools to destabilize the area.
Peace is what everybody is yearning for. And with peace, as my Honorable DC rightly said, many things will come. Many things like we are witnessing today will manifest. But when there is no peace, no developmental agents will be willing to invest in a conflict-prone area.
Also addressing the gathering were the two former rival traditional chiefs of the community. They both pledged to continue to work together to sustain the peace in the community.
We need to come together. The dispute or the conflict can never save us. It is only destroying us. It's only tearing us apart. So today, we are saying, we the two chiefs are saying that, as for the youth, we won't allow them to misuse us away again.
Aside from the refurbishment works, the Member of Parliament also donated medical equipment for the immediate commencement of services and also a motorbike for the operations of the staff. The items were received by the District Director of Health Services, Yakubu Abdulrahman.
The best way we can run this is for us to have our chiefs, their elders, our community volunteers to support our health staff to deliver quality health service.
From Jimbale, Ilyas Sutanko reporting for Joy News.
Now, public service is a call to duty, not an avenue for corruption. That's the caution from Public Services Commission to all public sector workers. State agencies have been saddled with corrupt practices over the years, with the Auditor General's report indicating a 36% rise in financial irregularities. However, Commissioner of the Public Services Commission, Dr. Nana Agyemang Frimpong, says prospective employees in the public sector must dedicate themselves to a good cause that serves the interest of all. He was speaking on the sidelines of a seminar on developing the next generation of public sector workers, managers, organized by the Public Administration Students of GIMPA.
The Public Administration Students Association, as part of its Union Week celebration, organized a seminar for its members who have largely been identified as the next generation of public sector workers. Under the auspices of the School of Public Service and Governance at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, the student group brought together experts and public sector practitioners to impart the next generation of students. Gilbert Atipo is president of the Public Administration Students Association at GIMPA.
I must say that the topic of the program was carefully selected because we realized that the public sector lacks a lot of efficiency. So we came up with this topic to see how we can reshape the next generation of public sector managers. And so you hear the lecturer, Dr. Agyemang, who is the man who does recruitment for governments, talking about the requisite skills that one needs to have as a public sector manager.
Touching on the essence of public service, Commissioner of the Public Services Commission, Dr. Nana Agyemang Frimpong, who also spent some time with the students, tells Joy News that prospective employees in the public sector must dedicate themselves to a good cause that serves the interest of all, devoid of corrupt practices.
Above all, be honest and be a man or a woman of what? Integrity. When you put all these variables, when you put them together, then as a public sector manager, you can be very efficient. The Constitution is emphatic if you want to serve in the service. The public service is not a place to make money. The public service is a call to duty. It's a call to national service. And so my advice to people is that whenever you get an opportunity to serve, it's not an opportunity to enrich yourself, it's an opportunity to make your services available and serve our motherland. And so corruption exists everywhere, but there are enabling laws in this nation that, if well enforced, I believe we can minimize. You can never eradicate corruption from any society. Even in advanced nations where we've all been to, corruption seldom exists. It's just a matter of we as a nation implementing the enabling legislation that we have enacted to fight the corrupt activities in our system being effectively enforced. Once we do that as a nation, I think then you can minimize the levels of corruption.
He's also urging successive governments to build more institutions that will cater for the needs of the public sector.
You look at the needs that we have as a nation, the emerging needs that keeps on coming and coming. Successive administrations have to set up institutions to meet these emerging needs. Efficiency is about using less of a resource in getting the maximum output. And so, in the service, in order to get efficiency, people need to be well equipped. People need to apply themselves to the knowledge that they had in school. People need to also be acquainted with individuals who have occupied certain key positions in our society, learn from them how they were able to do it.
The Public Administration Students Association at GIMPA says it will in the coming days pursue further strategic partnerships that will transform the mindset of prospective public sector managers in order to ensure that they are efficient and effective at post.
And so yes, it is a nice program. And then the second part of it is the PASA Connect, where we'll be meeting with alumni to have a drinking session with them, interact with them, because a lot of public sector managers, politicians, ministers have been here, and they have all been to the GIMPA Public School. And so as an association, we want to bring all of them together so that we unite, so that we network, and then see how we can revive the association, GIMPA, PASA, as well as the students in general.
You're watching the Johnny's Prime, and we'll be back shortly with more. Welcome back, and let's do some business now. And Ghana is one of the countries most affected by malaria, with over 5 million reported annually. In the Obuasi municipality of Ashanti region, malaria tops the list of OPD diseases. However, the indoor residual spraying program by Anglo Gold Ashanti has eradicated about 70% of malaria in the area. There's more in the following report.
As part of the 2023 World Malaria Day celebration, Anglo Gold Ashanti has called on organizations to collaborate with the mind to accelerate the progress of achieving the theme of this year's celebration. Edmond Odru Ejay, stakeholder superintendent at Anglo Gold Ashanti, pledged continued support to fight and totally eradicate malaria from the district.
What a year records before program made by Totonwan. Nurse or Chemu. Edward so 70% there yetimi akon etia na yasre all other partners now omabeka ho institution.
We have made some progress in curtailing malaria in the district. We call on other organizations to collaborate with the mind to fight malaria.
Also say ebeko etia chidi area no yesre other supporting organizations so omo so meka ho na yentimi entre yashim.
Though efforts have been made to eliminate the disease, the Health Directorate says it is faced with the non-adherence to treated bed nets. Eric Etuani Ajiman is the District Director of Health at Danse North.
Because adherence to the use of bed net sometimes becomes problematic. Bed nets have been given to you, the populace, just to hang it up and sleep in it. Yes, so people don't want to actually use the bed net. Again, when they visit the facilities and they are giving treatment, adherence to treatment for the adult tablets or for general population is about 3 days. But once the person takes the first dose and the second dose and he becomes all right, he will not continue. Then the reoccurrence or still some parasite will be found in their bloodstream.
The district chief executive for Adanse North appealed to the Anglo Gold Ashanti to reintroduce the anti-malaria spraying exercise in the district to help rid mosquitoes. Eric Kwekukusi spoke at the commemoration of the 2023 World Malaria Day held at Ayase.
With the confirmation of the presence of a deadly new breed mosquito in the country known as Anopheles stephens, I would like to make a passionate appeal to Anglo Gold Ashanti Ghana to reintroduce the anti-malaria spraying exercise in the district to help rid mosquitoes out of the district.
This year's World Malaria Day is under the theme Time to Deliver Zero Malaria. Invest, Innovate, Implement. Anglo Gold Ashanti donated treated nets and mosquito repellents to some senior high schools in the district. For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwa reporting.
Well, that's all for business. We'll be back with more. thought to be responsible for an increase in malaria incidents in Djibouti at a time when the country was scheduled to be declared malaria-free. Now, they may be found in relatively small numbers, but are known to be efficient transmitters of malaria. In the last of our series on Anopheles stephensi, Joy News medical correspondent Dr. Netta Pasram looks at what makes the mosquito efficient in transmitting malaria parasites.
So far in this series, we've learned that the peak biting times of the Anopheles stephensi mosquito is between
6 to 9 before you go to sleep.
We've also understood that it's able to withstand a range of temperatures.
About 3.4 degrees Celsius, lower and higher than that of the Anopheles gambiae.
Additionally, we've learned that it's gaining resistance against many insecticides.
It has 29 insecticide-resistant genes.
The Anopheles stephensi mosquito has been found to be effective transmitters of the Plasmodium parasite, even though they may be found in small numbers.
There has been studies, specific experiments, where Anopheles gambiae has been compared to Anopheles stephensi, where they were all given the same blood meal containing the same amount of parasites, estimated parasites. You realize that when they were given parasite from Africa, both of them delivered the same. I mean, the establishment of infection and production of oocysts that eventually will turn into sporozoid to invade the salivary gland were comparable. But when they were given parasites from Asia, you realize that the Anopheles stephensi was able to develop more parasites, establish higher infections compared to that of the Anopheles gambiae, which means that per bite is capable of injecting more sporozoids compared to that of Anopheles gambiae. And if it behaves the same in our country, it means that even in low densities, they have the capacity to transmit more infectious dose of parasites.
Well, that's all we have for you on Joy News Prime. With me, Razak. Musbau. Up next is The Probe with MFR Appa. Please do stay.
Remember to steep